I'm never alone. I never be lonely. I'm never alone. I never be lonely. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to Friday's OffBeat. My name is Jonathan McHugh, and we're live here at Loyola University, and we're lucky enough to have my friend and really dope rapper slash artist, Mr. Alfred Banks. How are you, sir?
I'm chilling,
Good to catch up, man. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while.
Indeed.
But I recently got to see you perform solo with the LPO.
Yes.
And I know that was something you thought about for a long time. Tell me about the germination, how it came up, and what were your thoughts about the whole evening? I'm sorry, the LPO being Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra, for those who don't like acronyms.
Well, long story short, I had my man Sebastian St. John reached out to me. He was like, yo, I like your music and I think it would sound good with the orchestra. And I was like, yeah, sure, I bet. And we had a meeting and he talked about it and we talked turkey and how it would work, and it was just a process. And I was like, sounds like something I'm not able to do. My previous manager, Tavia, she has, connections with the LPO, so she reached out, was like, yo, we have this idea for a show, you guys should check it out. And they were like, yeah, we'll get to it. And then about a year later, they actually got to it. And they reached out and they were like, yo, we like this idea, we would love to do it. And so me, my man in Twiggity, and Sebastian, we...
Looking fly in a tuxedo?
Yeah, man, showing love. He looked great. He looked like a reservoir dog.
Yes, exactly.
But we rehearsed we rehearsed like 6 or 7 times before we even linked up with the LPO to rehearse with them. So we rehearsed between, I think it was like...
Rehearse for the rehearsal.
Rehearse for rehearsal, to be prepared for us. I think we rehearsed like 8, 9 times in total.
Wow.
And it was amazing, dude. One thing that people don't know is we actually had a technical malfunction that went through the entire show and no one noticed, which is really cool.
Well, you had the problem with the microphone with Hot Sizzle.
Yeah, we had something before that, and it started the very first song, and it went through the entire set. But it went so well that no one noticed. And me being, professional and everyone just kind of keeping it going, it was really dope. And that showed like, no matter what pressure we're under, we can accomplish something really amazing. I had a blast. That was one of those moments I'll never forget. And I feel like I leveled up that night. And I'm grateful for that opportunity for sure.
Now, did Sebastian come up with the arrangements? How did you get the songs arranged?
Yeah, he did all that. So we picked like 6 or 7 of my songs, and some Saskia Sapp songs as well. And he worked it out and did what he does, and he's an incredible arranger. He has a really good ear because he kept the integrity of my records, even with how it would be transferred over to be, through an orchestra. And so I'm super grateful for that. And then Twiggity just came in and added that hip hop element.
Yeah, it was interesting. So the beats he was programming on top of it, those were the beats from the song, or they were just...
Yeah, from the song.
They were, right? So he was just basically, he didn't produce those records, but he was able to just make them come together live, right?
Yes.
And it worked out really well, I thought.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So that was a recent one. And then obviously, let's go back actually before we get to, because we started current, we'll go back. So you actually went to this fine institution of Loyola University, right?
I did,
Talk
man.
about
2009, 2011, man. This was, in retrospect, this is actually one of the most important steps in my life, because I learned about the music industry here, because I did intro to music, industry studies. I learned about how to distribute my music. I learned how to, what a publicist was. I learned what record contracts are and the whole shebang. And so, and I also met some guys and gals who I'm friends with to this day. My man Mastermind, he's out there in St. Louis going crazy. And my man Hugh Augustine, who did a song with Sid from the internet called Nights on Replay, and featured on an album, the guy's name escaped, Isaiah Rashad. He featured on a...
That's a big artist, yeah.
Yeah, so he was on his song, and that...
He's a TDE artist, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And so just like meeting some of these guys that I've met and I'm cool with, I met G-Eazy here and stuff, we got a song together. So I met all these guys and gals, and so it was a very important time in my life. I learned how to deal with being told no. I learned how to, kind of scale it back a little bit with the intensity and just kind of come at it from a more professional standpoint. And I learned how to socialize, or the lack of that ability that I may have at times. And so I learned so much in school.
Define that for me. I don't explain.
Yeah, just like being social. Like at the time, like everyone was kind of going at the same thing. And so instead of being, just being social is like, hey, we're cool, we're friends. Let's like bounce ideas off each other, use each other's resources to get to a bigger thing. I was just kind of like, hey, you know why I'm here, let's just do the thing instead of
You were too about the business.
I was too about the biz,
right.
so,
which can be off-putting.
1000%.
Right, for people who are always hammer time.
Exactly.
And right, so you have to learn how to slow your roll.
1000%.
And make people want to work for you
100%.
versus.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's an interesting mix of what we try to teach, like how not to be too intense and try to dominate a session, where you have to like ease into things. And I call it nuance. Like teaching
nuance.
the word nuance itself is difficult because it's not like an academic thing. It's a vibe thing.
You got to learn it.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like what
something that
am
you
I
have
like
to-
in the studio?
Yeah.
How do I be with other people? How do I seed? Don't feel like you have to talk all the time, right? It's a thing.
I think it comes with experience, though. I think
Yeah.
one thing I've learned, I'm better at it. I ain't great at it, but I'm better at it. And it just comes with experience. Being in a room with people who really are movers and shakers, knowing when to shut up, just chill. You know what I mean? And that took experience. And so I feel like I'm in a much better space with that. But those are the things I learned here at Loyola, man. I'm grateful for that. In the 2 years I was here, and I do plan on coming back one of these
Well,
old
you're
days.
back right now, bro. You played
Indeed.
Forum once, twice, 3 times. I
Three
don't know.
times later.
So from there, what were your moves to break into the rap world after you got out, after you left here?
Oh man, shows and more shows. I had a bunch of friends who were like kind of touring regionally, so I did the roadie thing, you know what I mean, helping set up the merch, help set up the DJ equipment, stuff like that.
So you learned that game.
Yeah, facts. I had to kind of get in from the bottom, and that's what I did. And in return, they give me a song on the set, and so that's how I started touring.
So that was the barter. That was the barter
for sure,
game?
for sure. So I started, rocking in Gulfport, Mississippi, or like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana, et cetera, Mobile, Alabama. And so after a while, you go there a couple of times, and then you meet the guy or gal who books the show, and then you get their information.
The old-fashioned way.
You know what I mean? So I'm right at the beginning of when the internet really boomed,
Okay.
and right at the end of the quote-unquote traditional music industry. And so I learned both of those worlds. And so I just kind of attacked it like that, and using the blogs back in the day to get my name out, but also like still putting flyers on people's windshields and stuff. So that's kind of what I did, and I just toured. And I always tell people I rapped really good my way into a career because I didn't have an investor, I didn't have a manager at the time, I didn't have a label, nobody
Right, you were a true self-starter, and that's back to that thing about pushing forward. If you don't have that inside you, it's a problem. So
Yeah,
if I open up every class and I say, all right, here's a hypothetical for you. Do you guys think you can teach hustle? Is hustle something you could teach? You obviously had it inside you. You learned a little information here, enough to be dangerous at Loyola, but then you took it out in the world and you practiced it.
100%.
So what would your recommendations be for people maybe that don't have that forceful a personality as you do to push themselves to get to that place, to get out there in the world a little bit more?
All it is, man, is just a true belief in what you do, right? If you believe in your product, that you really think your stuff is really good, then I think you'll do whatever it takes. So just believe in the product more than anyone on planet Earth. And then from there, you'll be able to kind of feel how to move. Because some of the things I could say, you don't necessarily, I can't tell you, like, all I can tell you is like, just go outside. And
Right.
for some people, that's a little bit more difficult.
do it.
Just believe in your thing. If you believe in your thing, you'll know how to move.
But then there's the self-critic side of it that says, and we go through this all the time when teaching, like, well, when should I put my music up? Who's going to tell me it's good enough? Do I have to believe that it's good enough? And then do I have a good enough filter and a lens to really be objective that it's competitive out there?
I've always believed that my music was amazing. It was just other people's time to hear it.
Okay, that's
So,
an interesting one.
That was it. So like, I even now in retrospect, going back and listening to some of that stuff, it was good. It may have some levels of immaturity to it or a little crassness, and the mix wasn't great, but I could rap.
Right.
And I always could rap. You know what I mean? I've just gotten older. Some of the ideas of the things I think about are a little bit more advanced, more mature, et cetera. But I always could rap. And so I always rapped over dope beats, whether it was somebody else's beat. My ear for picking other people's beats was dope. The beats I rapped over original was always dope. So like, I put it out even before it was ready because I wanted people to know how dope I was. So, sometimes people can be very self-critical, you know what I mean? And give themselves the most criticism that they get will be from themselves. And especially now, because like we do live in a world now where if you don't put your best foot forward the first time you do anything, you might mess up your whole thing, your trajectory. Just don't. I don't know, man. Again, I just believed in what I did.
Well, what's interesting about you, and I really got a handle of this when I went to see you at Tips opening for, I think it was Rakim. Was it Rakim?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a tough crowd. It was like they were there to see him, right?
Yeah, facts.
He's
yeah.
OG, and these are older people.
Yeah.
And they're like waiting, and it's a Sunday night, and these people are tired or whatever, they're waiting, and you got a long set.
Facts.
And you're just pushing forward, believing in yourself, and asking them for kind of like, be open a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I never really talked to you about this, but that strategy of trying to deal with not a hostile crowd, but like not like your people.
Facts.
What do you do on stage, and how do you find that thing?
John, man, I believe I'm amazing. So if you don't like my music, it's either it wasn't time for you to hear it, or it's just not the genre you like.
Right.
So I've been booed. I won't say who, but I've been booed on tour with people. And, again, that's not because my music's whack. It's not because I'm a bad rapper. It just wasn't the moment for you to hear this right now. You know what I mean? So,
you weren't open to hear this right now.
And I'm also like, I've done a lot of shows. I've toured a lot all over the world. And so I've pretty much experienced is anything you can experience. And so I just know what experience, like, sometimes, like, it's not that you whack or something. They just want to see what they want to see.
Right.
But I have a job to do. So if you just meet me this way, I'll meet you right here. You let me get my job done, and you get where you gotta go. It's love, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna do my damnness to make sure that you meeting me here is as easy of a process as possible.
Right.
Two
things about that. One is your ability to freestyle.
Thank you.
And the ability to call out objects in a room, and it's a fantastic lyrical flow and creative, and not easy to do. But you've exceeded expectations on being able to do it. Has that something you always had when you were young? Like, where did that come from for you?
I started freestyle battling, kind of like 106 in Park, like that type of thing, with the beat, throw a beat, freestyle top of the head. I started doing that here. I actually had like an actual like rap beef with a guy on campus, another student, and I freestyle battled him in front of the library. And so I'm like super hippity hoppity.
You're like OG.
And I'm like 17 years old when I did this. And he had verses that he had prepared already, and I just went off the top of the head, and I destroyed it. It was crazy. So I've always had.
So that's a confidence builder, big time.
For sure. But also, like, again, watching people like Wayne Brady, like watching Whose Line Is It Anyway, watching, like, one of my favorite things to do is watch TV shows and watch the bloopers. I love to see how people mess up and think of those ideas and like, okay, how could I turn that mess up into it? I just love improv. I did improv in high school for like a year.
So that's great base.
You know what I'm saying? So like I learned how to freestyle pretty early, and it's fun. Like I don't see it as like a scary thing. It's fun. In high school, man, if I'm being completely honest with you, in high school I got picked on a lot. So at some point I had to learn how to rib back, and I started freestyling. I didn't just crack jokes. I would freestyle about you. And it was an interesting way to get back. And people go, whoa,
It's off-putting, but interesting. It's also a thing that can disarm people.
For sure. They don't even know how to, you can't just talk back. Like, would you go rap back? You don't know how to rap.
They can't handle it.
So, like, I learned how to do that there, man. And I will give Megaran a lot of credit. My bro Megaran out of Phoenix. I toured with him, and I watched him do that. And I was like, yo, I think I can do that. And I did that like once or twice. And it went pretty well. I told Albert I know how to do it, and I should have never did that. He was like, oh, that's part of the set now. And so like I do it more often now. Yeah. But I just started doing it in high school, man, and kind of just freestyle battling, always being witty on top of my head and stuff. It's kind of what
it actually, in a way, that wittiness in freestyle works really well with Albert on the sax thing.
Indeed.
Because it's a combo platter of your personality, his color schemes, the whole thing. It works. Before we move on to sax, I wanted to stay on one thing.
Yes.
And that is that in today's world of internet rap success, if you will, and rap millionaires, whatever, the aspect of the live show and the touring has been downplayed by many because it is so difficult to do.
Yeah.
But I think that it's the lifeblood of the game, right? If you can't get on the road, if you can't sell a ticket, if you can't sell a hard ticket and make people smile whenever you go, then you're not really an artist. Now, people will make a living on the internet and doing their thing and YouTube videos and stuff. But talk about, in a way, you're an OG in that respect, right? Talk about how you talk to the new generation of, hey guys, you got to go do this. Like, what is that to get across to them?
That's where you really make the impression, man. What I've learned is, as someone who's having success on the internet, you can. The phone screen is real estate, and we're trying to get that. Once you get that, it's like, okay, these dudes are dope, but then you just become one of the 10, 15 people that they check for on the internet. But if you say, hey, I have a live show, and they actually come to the show, and you're just as dope as what they see on the internet, they go, oh, this is a real artist. And in today's world, it's very hard to sell art because people don't care about art like that. They care about how known are you.
The famous for being famous.
They just want to be a part of the next wave. They don't really care what you do. Music is like background now. It's like, okay, you rap, but like, okay, do you make shoestrings? Like, are you good with salmon? Do you cook in the, like, music is is like I don't know, it's like a jumping off platform for some other stuff.
Right.
And so when you take music serious, like I do, like me and Albert do, you know, people can feel that. And you feel that in the live space, man. There's nothing better than like rocking out and like they go, whoa, everything they did, they channeled it like, yo, these dudes are dope. And then you make fans. It's one thing for people to click your videos and leave comments. Anybody could do that, right? But for someone to buy a ticket, $15, $20 ticket, to come see you rock out, that's different. That means that they really are tapped in. Right. And you want those people because those are the guys and gals that are going to buy merch. Right. They're going to tell their friends about them. We've seen it in real time. We just did a show in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and Cleveland. And these people that are diehards brought their friends to the show. They had never heard of us, right? Maybe they showed them a video or two, but they didn't know. And so they came, yo, you guys are maybe. And that's how you have longevity in
well,
this
it's
game.
Also, you guys, and we'll get into sax now, are unique. It's Tank and the Bangers, former sax player, super colorful bunhead kind of white dude, and Albert Banks, fun rapper, coming together. So talk about the germination of how it came together and how you guys met and why you decided to do stuff.
So I toured with Tank and the Bangers in 18, 19. And that last tour we did, we went to Detroit. So I think we did Canada that run. So that was the run me and Albert kind of started like really chopping game. I started noticing like he was pretty funny and we, you know, I'm the opener, so like they're the headline, so it's like, you know, two different worlds. But whenever we would cross paths backstage, it was just like, oh, what's good, baby? I'll see you show, blah, 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 crack jokes. And he's closer to my age too, so I didn't know that at the time. So we was vibing out, and after that tour was over, the pandemic hit. And so Tavia was like, hey man, y'all should like get in the studio. Albert makes beats. Cool. We get in the studio, and that first session, man, we laughed for like 2-3 hours, dude, before we even started pressing record. Like, he sent me a folder of beats. I picked one. I honestly treated it like it was going to be, I do a record for him, get up out of there.
One time only.
Yeah. And then, man, we laughed for 2-3 hours. And I was
Isn't that
like,
great
man,
when
dude,
that happens?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like meeting a woman or a significant other somewhere, and you're like, oh yeah, I could see myself with that.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Just a cool guy. There's nothing else. We're just going to be friends. You're going to be
Right.
in my sphere, you know?
Right.
And so we did that, and then we got back in the studio, made like 2 more records, got back in the studio, and I was like, man, you want to make this a thing? He was like, yeah. And then we went to some names, and we picked Sax Kicks Ave. And
how'd you pick that name?
It looked really cool on paper. That was it. Literally, the other 2 names that I can remember was Al Squared,
Right.
Al and Al, Alfred and Albert. And that was it. And I was like, well, you like sax, you play sax. Mm-hmm. I like shoes. And then we both live on streets. At first, it was like Sax Kicks. I was like, Sax Kicks Ave. Oh, like Sax Fifth. Oh, yeah, Sax Kicks. And that's how it came out. Got it. So, yeah.
And so you've made how many songs have you guys put out by now?
I don't know, dude. We've done a song a month this year. Our last album has like, or EP has like 9 songs. The first one has like maybe 9. Mm-hmm. So you've done a bunch. About 25 songs,
right?
30 songs.
And then let's talk about, because obviously we talked about the live performance, how important it is, but then there's the viral nature, which in today's world is super important. And talk about what happened for you guys to be able to kick that viral success in play.
So what happened was before August 2023, what we were doing were skits. Again, we have a sense of humor, so we leaned into it. We had the album Nectarine Pills out, and so we were like, man, what are some cool ways to promote this thing, being that we don't have a budget? All right, well, let's just film some skits, come up with some funny stuff, and then any funny thought we had, like we had this one, we were in the kitchen peeling nectarines, and then like a ghost comes in and spells out words like a Ouija board, but with the nectarine peels.
Whoa.
Hey, yo.
Whoa.
Hey.
Hi. What's your name?
Our car breaks down, and it's the battery. The battery's dead. So we take hash browns and put the jumper cables on them, and the hash browns start the car up. Stuff like that, right? And it was funny, and people liked them. But we didn't want to run the risk of being Abbott and Costello. We're musicians. So one day in the studio, I was like, yo, Al, man, like Albert, we should like rap and play instruments. He was like, yeah, you rap. I was like, man, let's just jump over somebody's beats. And so we did Kendrick Lamar, Rigor Mortis. And I rhymed over it, and it was very, very, that's difficult to do. That beat is incredibly difficult, and it's fast, and he's playing sax and stuff. We did it, people liked it. It was cool. And we wound up doing 2 or 3 more videos. It was pretty dope. And we always said, yo, no matter what hits, if one of these skits hits or one of these little whatever, we're gonna lean into it. And then he came to me one day and was like, yo, Al, you ever play Wii Sports? And I was like, nah. He was like, the Wii boxing theme. That joint slap. Played it. I was like, oh, this is hard. And I rapped over
the
it.
boxing thing.
Indeed. And
Too much will we bring to get boxed in when we step in the ring. With Phil Mickelson, but if you try to swing, you'll get more than a hole in one from these things.
So we put it on TikTok, and we was on the couch talking about skits and some other stuff. And I was checking TikTok, and at that point we had like 300 followers. Had like 500 views. I was like, oh, that's pretty good for a video. Close it, finish talking. Nosy, I opened it back up to like 1,500, and I was like, okay. Close it again. Open it back up to like 3,500. I was like, yo, Al, I think we got a video. He's like, wait, what? I was like, I think it's going viral. And then like, I just did this, 5,000, 7,300, 8,100, 9,000. I was like, yo, what is good? And it went viral.
And it happened that quick.
It literally happened like that. And I was like, yo, dog. And it was just TikTok. So every video we posted on TikTok was going crazy. I said, Albert, this is dope. But if we go viral on Instagram, that's when it's real. He was like, oh man, but TikTok is the kids, is the future. I said, no. Instagram is a social media institution. If you go viral on Instagram, you're on. 2 weeks later, we did the All That theme song. Took off. And
All That from the TV show.
Yeah, and man, I mean, 30,000, 40,000 videos doing 400,000, 500. And then we did the Mario theme song. We put the bounce beat under it.
Pipe up, looking like we the ones that they might trust. Getting coins, so I'm buying all the nice stuff. And I feel I got a t-shirt, they got that ass on her and it's looking like a peach.
Now we hit 1 million. That was like our first one. And now we've kind of leveled out to the point where a good video is, 35 to about 75,000.
Well, it's interesting.
So like
you mentioned those, the Wii and the Mario. These are kind of all visual media, video game type things that have their own
world.
Their own world. So if you can combine worlds, it's obviously a win. Right?
Yeah, man. It's interesting. It really like there was no plan. We wanted the internet to know who we were, but we didn't plan on going viral. That's like one thing a lot of people say, right?
You have
like,
to,
yeah.
right.
People always think like, okay, the game plan is we're gonna do this and it's gonna go viral, and then once we go viral, then we got nobody thinks like that. We're just throwing stuff at the wall, figuring it out. And I just rap really well. Albert plays 36 instruments really well.
Wow.
And people just liked them, man, and it just hit. And then with something like the Wii Sports, like everybody, I don't think anyone's ever rapped over that. Like,
right. Well, you got to do right. You find different shit to do. That's what you are winning at, because you're doing stuff that not a lot of people are doing.
Yeah,
right?
like you're rapping over the Seinfeld theme song, rapping over the Living Single theme song. I think for my favorite video I think we've ever done is I rapped over What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers.
I do one hand that we could run it back, but for you interest, there's none attached. Those words to my heart felt like a punch. You just sitting here for the sake of lunch.
And I just reinterpreted what the song was about. That was like my favorite one because that was the first one I sang on. And for me, singing is like very personal. I haven't really found my voice the way I want to. But like that was the first time he heard me singing it when I was over there rehearsing the rap. He's like, Alfred, are you like really singing that? I was like, yeah. He was like, dude, sing it. But sing it falsetto. And I was like, dog, my falsetto ain't strong. He's like, no, just do it. And then all the comments, oh, his voice is so beautiful. I was like, oh, people like it. And so like that's like my favorite one. But just the range. I have a lot of, I want to show dexterity, bro. Like I want to show that I can rap over anything and it sound good. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm so grateful for this platform, Sass Kicks Ass, because I get to I just have fun with the bars, man. Like literally put a beat in front of me, I can go. You know what I mean? And
Well, that's that freestyle background, right?
Exactly, man. And it just, I don't know. It's just in today's world, man, where rap is more about the character or the caricature of what people think hip hop is or rap. I'm here for the bars. I'm here for the culture. And one of the foundations of this culture is lyricism. And I give a damn about being really good at rapping. All that other stuff is just the frills. I want even this viral success and all that. At the end of the day, you break it down. Listen to those words. That boy's saying some really dope stuff from the multis, the double line, the triple entendres, quadruple entendres, the similes, the concepts, the ideas, the pockets I catch. Like listen to the Seinfeld theme song. I'm catching a pocket on there that people didn't even know was there. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff I care about.
What is now the plan for Sax as far as the summer goes? What are your moves and how does it work for you to be balancing this solo thing and Sax? How are you doing it?
I feel like I'm doing it pretty good. So for me, solo, lot of shows. I'm always just gonna be doing gigs and being on the road specifically. Like when it comes to New Orleans, I want to definitely keep those a little sparse. Putting out solo records. I have a EP that I've been trying to get mixed for the past like couple months, and I'm gonna put that out. And shouts to Pell. He reached out to me. There's a situation I might be able to put a song out through. First time ever working with anybody, so that'd be kind of cool. So that's what I'm going to be doing, putting out solo music that I've been sitting on for about 5 years now that I think the world needs to hear and feeds my solo fans and the people that love Sass Kicks and love me. That's kind of what I'm on. Sass Kicks, we're going to be touring like madmen. We got a bunch of really cool shows coming up, a bunch of festivals. We got booked for, I believe we're at Halloween and Elements Fest in Pennsylvania, which is really cool.
And you're also playing Los Angeles. What's the date of that show?
July 9th. I'm at the Moroccan Lounge.
Great spot.
And so I think my man Addy from Global Warm is going to be rocking out, putting that in the air. But yeah, we're going to be really, because the thing is, we went viral and we had fans. So it's like going out here and touching those fans and letting them know we're real. And man, they've been coming out. Even the small crowds have just been rabid. It's been incredible. And really seeing it in its beginning stages, I want to say infancy stages, it's really dope because it's only going to grow. And, you know, we're going to, at some point, hopefully get on an opening slot for a big run, and that'll really take it to the next level. And we're talking
Who are some artists that you feel that Sax would work with to go open for?
You know, man, I've been thinking about that. Like, you know, with the agency I work with, we've, I don't know,
They got to go pitch it.
Yeah, dog, I don't know, man. I haven't thought about that in a while. So, like, I have to, it was like someone like Harry Mack. He's like a freestyle artist that's huge. He does like the kind of spontaneous freestyle stuff that I do, like with the crowd stuff, but he does it for a set. So do it for an hour, just complete freestyle. Everything is freestyle.
Right. What about someone like Anderson .Paak that has fun but is serious and hits to all fields also?
So someone yesterday I actually posted on Facebook. Somebody said Sax Kicks Ave is like if the Roots and Anderson .Paak had a baby. And I was like, whoa, that's perfect, dude. Like, I love that. So yeah, Anderson .Paak would be dope. The Roots would be dope. Because like, as much as we are based in humor, we are serious about the music and the music goes. So like, someone like Anderson .Paak will work. Thundercat would be really dope.
Right.
You know, like I said, Harry Mack. Personally, I would love to like rock with Lupe Fiasco. That'd be cool to tour with him. Artists like that, cats that like, what I want are people who have rabid fan bases who appreciate music more than any of the other things.
Right.
Because when you're going to get your fill with the music from us, but you're going to be entertained in the other ways on the spectrum. And so, yeah, I should think about that a little bit more, dude.
It's a good one. You had mentioned culture before, and I want to talk to you about the ability to rock with anything. And that rock with anything in New Orleans, brass band culture is huge. So you did this collaboration with the New Orleans Nightcrawlers.
Thanks.
And with Ha Sizzle and Pell.
Banks, hey, you know what it is. Only aim is getting that chip. Ball out cause we so crisp. Take shots and we don't miss. Ha, my team's in the fury out there. Your head coach should be worried out there. You got a plan? I wanna know the deal. Check the stats cause we 100 from the field.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic, and it helped get that record a Grammy nomination.
Yes,
so,
indeed,
which was
Lord.
amazing.
Yes, indeed, Lord.
Talk about that experience and how that feels to flow over, you know, brass band music.
Well, first of all, brass band music is like just anything with brass. That's like my heart and soul. Because I'm from New Orleans, so like I'm so used to that. That's you hear that randomly. There's a guy that walks down St. Charles playing the saxophone. You know what I'm saying? And so like, and he's a local legend. But anyway, like that type of energy, I'm pretty used to that. And so that's fun, man. With those type of records, I get to catch pockets and have fun, be more flamboyant with the rhymes, and like and just be, just all over the place. And I don't always get that chance and opportunity to just be so freeform. And so those type of records make me feel great. It just puts me in a great mood when I hear that. So when I heard that beat, I was like, oh yeah, this is up. This is gonna be great. And so it turned out to be really dope record. People like it, and the Grammy nom never hurts either. But shouts to Pell, shouts to Hot Sizzle, shouts to the Nightcrawler, shouts to you, shouts to Nate, shouts to my man E.T. Doe for helping just put together like a really dope record.
Yeah, it was a fun collaboration. It was funny because we just had Craig Klein also did
shouts
one
to
of
my
these
man.
recently.
Shouts to
He's good.
Craig, man.
But on that one, you also on the video side, because it was written for the Pelicans, we decided to incorporate basketball
Of course.
into the video.
Yes.
And we actually rented a gym, and you got some of you guys to come out. And
I
it's
did.
Featured in the video.
Happened to be
talk about playing hoops and how often you do that, and is that a good release for you to, get the work off?
I'm actually mad because the day we filmed, I was having an off day. That I sucked so bad that day. It was.
Hey, it's
terrible.
on video though. It doesn't matter. You can cut around.
They edit it. You know what I mean? I look like a superstar. Nah, man, basketball is very important to me because before I wanted to rap, I wanted to play basketball. I wanted to be professional in some aspect. And not in retrospect, I know I probably wasn't good enough to go to the league. I'd have been in Spain cutting up somewhere.
Right.
But I definitely love basketball. It is my release. That's the only time I play at Napoleon Magazine, and it's the only time in my life where I actually put my phone down. And I
shut it down.
For like 2 hours. I don't care about nothing but this. I don't even talk.
I do that with tennis. It's the only
Yeah,
time I do that.
You need that, and I don't care about anything but basketball for those 2 hours, right? And so like I get to relive my little hoop dreams, and you know what I'm saying? Like I can ball out, and those guys I've been playing basketball with, I've been literally knowing these dudes since I was 13 years old.
Wow.
I've been playing at that court literally for like 17 years now.
That's
and so
incredible.
like I'm very habitual. When I find somewhere I like, I stay there, and I've been living in that neighborhood for God knows how long now. So I'm from that.
It was nice. I booked the gym next door.
Yeah,
So
man.
you didn't have to go too far.
Exactly. I literally walked to the. It was dope. So yeah, man. Basketball. I love basketball. Allen Iverson's my favorite player. He changed the game.
Do you believe in his school of thought on practice? One of the greatest things of all time.
Maybe.
When I was at practice?
Practice.
What's practice? I don't
Maybe.
know.
I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50.
That's great. So you're going to do some dates with Sax. You're going to do some Banks dates. And when do you look to put out? How often are you guys putting out music?
We're putting out a song every single month in the year of 2024.
Okay.
Right now, we just released a song. It's called The Meadows.
Right.
I'm filled with a lot of hope. I think I got the glow. Be on the up, and I'm headed where I need to go. I'm letting it lead me though. Cause life can be treacherous or it can be easy, yo. Emotions are seasonal. Just go with the flow.
So all the songs we put out so far have been like kind of big anthems. I'm rapping, spitting bars, even a little bit of some realness in there, but mostly just like fun stuff. But this song, The Meadows, man, is it samples a song that Albert made where he was. The song is called Shark Attack, and it's like look out for a shark. But the shark is a metaphor for anxiety and depression. And so like when he sampled it, he flipped his own sample, and like the chorus is like, "Do you hear me right now? Do you hear me right now, baby? Come on, tell me, do you hear me now?" And it's like you're kind of having a conversation. He was having a conversation with someone specific, but just like, okay, I'm having a conversation, so like I want to talk to myself, like what's going on, and with some of the things that's been happening with the recent success, and it brings some doubt, some survivor's remorse and some personal issues that I have, and so I kind of talk about that on the record. Think I got the glow. I think I got the glow. We on the up, and I'm headed where I need to go. I'm letting it lead me though. Sometimes I like to be. I'm a control freak. So I'm learning that like with something like going viral that's completely out of your hands, you kind of just have to let go and let the energy do what it's gonna do. And that's very difficult for me to do. So the song is about me getting over that. And it's very personal.
What does the name Meadows mean?
I don't know, The Meadows was the name of the beat.
Oh, okay.
It just sounded really good, and it sounds like flowy, soft, warm, and that's kind of the beat, that's the energy. And so that's the name of it just kind of, actually virtually every song we've put out, the name of it was the name of the beat.
Interesting.
And
so you're not really taking much stock in names. You're just taking the energy and the names of the beats, and you're not retooling.
No, so like what happens is, maybe like Nightlight, we did that, where we took a bar from, like a line from the song and made it. But for the most part, the song is just the song, like done with that's the chorus. Nightlight was a line in the song. We put out the Tiny Desk freestyle. That was just what that was. Teeny tiny 10-minute freestyle is what that was. And so yeah, just that's really what it is. But the thing is, I want people to kind of start paying attention to. Look at the cover art. If you look at the cover art for all of our songs, they're telling a story. So when we get to December, we're gonna like tell the story of what the cover art is. The cover art literally is.
I did want to ask you about Meadows because it was a nice image that was up on Spotify. I couldn't get too deep into it, but what was that one? And who's designing your art?
So a young lady named Olivia. Her last name escapes me at the moment, but Olivia has been doing our art. She's based here in the city. Incredible visual artist. That girl is nuts. And she's gonna do all the art moving forward for Saskia.
So you'll have a look.
Yeah, when it comes to the cover art. So the story is like literally you're watching these two guys like find social media success in real time. So like the cover, the first January was like my round Sleazy Easy made that cover art, so that's that one. But February was Nightlight. So Nightlight, we're like sleeping, like we're both in beds and we're like kind of like playing our games. This is like normal stuff. Then March, Arctic. We're fishing, so it's like we're fishing for what can we do? Like what's our thing? So he finds a sax, I find a microphone. April is the Tiny Desk freestyle, and if I'm not mistaken, that one is he's explaining to me, all right, dude, if we rap in front of the camera and play sax, we do this social media, this equals success. So then this cover art is us filming. We're filming the video.
Gotcha.
And so like if you look, you'll see the camera, and then me and him. So the next one, we don't know exactly what part of the story we're gonna tell next for the next cover, but yeah, that's the cover arts are all telling like this like kind of cool story.
It's nice for people to be able to follow those storylines.
Yeah, and the art looks dope, man. It
really
it's
does.
Beautiful, man. Her style is ridiculous, and she also designed our Hash Browns T-shirt.
That was my next point. Yeah. Hash browns to me is like
Hash browns, the recipe's getting passed down. Took the plunge, I went hash to mouth. It was pretty good, man. Not what I expected. No aftertaste or anything, so. Now I'm satisfied, or maybe satisfied. Don't want to advertise or spread any lies.
It's an interesting thing about humor on top of a dope beat.
That beat is incredible.
So like, I find myself singing Hash Browns because, you know, it's like when you get a record that you just, wow, that's so good. So is that indicative of what this sound is? Because it's like fun. You could laugh to it, but the fucking beat is dope and you're rapping hard to it. Like, talk about that record just in general.
Man, that was the first moment we realized like, oh, we might actually have something, because like it was our first song that like went viral.
It did.
And then like people like gravitated to it so much, and the story goes, we were in the studio. Albert's vegan, so he wanted to eat. He was hungry, so he threw some hash browns in the air fryer. And we were literally talking. He was like, dude, we should just freestyle about hash browns. And at first I was like, I don't want to do that. That's stupid. And he was like,
gotta be open, bro.
He was like, man, come on, man. It's about the moment, man. I was like, all right, whatever. So he's making a beat, and he had like
He made that beat?
Yeah, in like 4 minutes. Like literally, this is what happened. He went to the I guess synthesizer, keyboard, whatever. That's not my bag. But he went over there, and like he just had a loop playing. He made a loop in like 2 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. The loop's going. And we literally were searching through the synth sounds and like, and I was like, ooh, that's hard. And so he just started playing. And if you watch the original Hash Browns video, he doesn't even go repeat that line or that phrase. It's just he went off and just freestyle. But when the video went viral, well, I should tell that story. So we did the joint. As he was making the sounds, I'm freestyling in my head. And so like I had a couple lines in my head, and that whole first verse is complete freestyle. Like that's off the top. And if you watch the video, I'm literally like, that's the third take I took. Cause like the first take was me freestyling I was freestyling about hash browns, but not like the way I was doing it. The second one I messed up, and the third one I was like, you know what? I'm a freestyle about cooking hash browns. And that's literally what I did. And so that video went viral. And so we went back in the studio, and I was like, yo, repeat this phrase. This phrase is catchy. This just sounds, whatever. He did that, and then I like freestyle / wrote the second verses. And that whole song took 45 minutes.
Well, the great ones can, right? They don't have to you don't have to labor over them for weeks. Like, if the inspiration hits, I love that record.
It makes me laugh, Jonathan, dog, because I have some of the most introspective songs in the world. I have songs about, like, it's just nuts.
I did want
dude.
to talk to you about one of them, and that was one you did with the LPO about,
Yes.
I believe it's breaking up with your girl,
Yes.
and just the looking back at what you did wrong and how you could have been. Can you talk about that? I'm assuming that's an autobiographical song, but
Yeah, for sure. The song's called Forever. It's a solo record. You talking about Sasky Sav or the solo record?
no, solo.
Yeah, it's called Forever.
Your happiness was leaving, so you told me take it easy. Think about you every minute. I can't stop my heart from beating. And I thought this was forever, never, always.
That song means, I wrote that in 2021. I was fresh out of that breakup, and that really, like, it crushed me at the time. Rightfully so, 7-year relationship. But I had to learn as I got older and just, like, maturing. I did a lot of maturing in that year after that relationship, just realizing my part in it, right?
You saw your own fault.
1000%.
Why it didn't work.
1000%. I'm not the only person in that situation, but
Of course.
I definitely have my part in it. And so just kind of just being like, man, they were a really good person. She definitely, had some positives about her, some good things. And I just wasn't in the space to be the person that she needed or for this relationship needed. I was focusing on my relationship. I was focusing on music and my relationship with that more than I was focusing on furthering this thing with this person that I cared about. And so long story short, that's where that song comes from. And I'm past that. I'm definitely past that point in my life. It doesn't sting like it used to. It's just, it's a moment. And it happened, and we moved on. But I definitely wanted the song to come out because I know people can relate to that, man. There's there's a million people go through breakups, and I wanted to put that out, move past
You
it.
use the pain and things that you've gone through for your art to and you try to find universal relatability that other people can feel. Oh yeah, that kind of I get that happened.
It's a gift and a curse.
Exactly.
It's a gift and a curse. If someone asks me how I'm feeling, just in conversation, it'd take me a very long time to get the point across. But if you say, hey, write how you feeling, I can tell you to the T exactly how I feel. And it's a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes that's like the only way I can get it across. So I have to think about it, which means I have to kind of harp on it, which means the emotions kind of flow through me even stronger. And so like me moving past something I won't move past it as fast if I have to think about it and listen to it and memorize it. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So like it's a very interesting thing, and yeah, some of my best songs are my most personal records, and some of those songs I don't listen to because
And that's in a way you keep that solo side of you where you can get introspective, and when you're with Albert, you kind of having more fun.
yeah, and
Your Clark Kent kind of Superman thing.
exactly. But and with Saskia Sav, like I said, the song "The Meadows" is more personal. It's the first introspective song we put out since all this stuff has happened. And we definitely can go there because behind the closed doors, man, me and Albert have some of the deepest conversations. We relate on a lot of things. We also have like different views of things, so we always discuss that. But me and him are very deep, man. We're very, we're just very, very serious about what we do. There is nothing funny about what we do. We are dead ass with what we do. You know what I mean? The smallest details, everything matters. So there's no way that couldn't come across as just like, again, alienating and just weird. Like, whoa, that's just intense.
Right.
So we use our sense of humor because we both, we have a sense of humor.
It's disarming.
Yeah, and so like, yeah, but you're right, man. Like my solo stuff, I let the words do all the things. I let my bars, I let the songs, I let my performance, I let that speak. I'm not the most animated solo.
Sure.
But with Sass Kicks, you get to see another side of me. And I think that's what the people that love both of me, they love that side too. And the people that love solo
Well,
bands.
yeah, he can bring it out in you too because he's that guy, and that's important.
1000%.
And you can do the same with him.
1000%.
So I think it's a great combination. So talk about your relationship with global warming and what that means to you.
They all abominable with they rep. They get held accountable for the stress. And I've been methodical with my steps since Wayne Spell phenomenal with the F.
Them my round there. I was hanging with those guys yesterday. We all were mentors for the Trombone Shorty Foundation. And so we went to the graduation of our mentees. And that was a beautiful thing. So I saw Pell, saw Sleaze, Crew, Dominic Scott, etc. Global warming, man, is important to me because it taught me how to be social, right? As an adult, it taught me how to collaborate with people. I didn't do that, right? Albert is a very intricate part of my process of learning how to collaborate with people, and global warming kind of helped reinforce that. I'm so grateful for that because I respect Pell. Pell's my dog. We've been rocking since like 2013. His first show in New Orleans, I rocked at the Hi-Ho Lounge. So like I've shared stages with him many a time back in the G. Sleazy Easy was my coworker for like 3 years. We worked at a smoke shop together. And so I've been rocking with them for years. That's my dog. Latranium is quite possibly my favorite performer in the city of New Orleans.
He's done the show before.
I know, I saw, and I appreciate his shout out to me too and to us. But I love Latranium. I think he's one of the best performers that this city has to offer. Cole, Peace, those are my guys. I love those guys. Everybody else in the group, like Kronos, like everybody's rocking now. Or Odd the Artist, like everybody. I love that group. And so.
And they got a first single coming out.
Yeah, Too Hot the whole year, man. I'm not on it, but I'm gonna promote it like I am because they're my dog.
That's what a collective does, right?
Yeah, come on, man.
Work each other.
But now I'm super. Yo, Global Warming has provided so many dope opportunities. Being kind of like like an OG now, which is crazy to say, but being like an OG. Like I've seen some things and done some things, but there's some guys and gals and people in the group that haven't quite, and so this is their platform to get off. And as just a big bro, like looking back, I'm like look in the back, looking like, man, I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all getting to touch these big stages, playing Wednesday at the Square, playing French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest. Maybe these guys wouldn't have touched that stage at this point in their career without this platform, and so that's why global warming is so important, and they 100% has my support. I'm behind it. I'm in the group. I'm down with the crew, and so I'm here for it, and I love it, man. That's what the city needed, man. Last thing I'll say is like the collaborative energy of New Orleans and the hip hop scene was lost for a little bit. When I was coming up, there was a scene in the city, and so local showcases, promoters, media outlets, and all these different things. And then somewhere along the line,
Hip Hop Night at the House of Blues was a big one.
Come on, man, talk about it. So like all these things, kind of like went away after a while. Nothing lasts forever. And so for 2-3 years, it just looked a little crazy. Like everybody was running around like headless chicken. And so it took global warming to kind of come back and at least show from the outside looking in, a macro level, like, yo, like 36 people can come together and be a group. Like anything is possible.
And we talked about a hip hop and R&B collaboration with them. So that's a fall idea for a show.
Come on, man, let's do it. I'm with that.
Everybody, thank you so much for coming out. Give it up, my man Albert Banks. He'll be touring, doing things, lots of things. Whether it's a symphony or sax kicks ass or his solo stuff, he's out there doing it.
Thanks.
And you should too. Thank you all, and see you next time.
Good. Well, that water was clutch. Lord.